Moving week night 1 is in the books, and teams are moving. That's for sure. The Week 10 Monday Night Postgame Show, presented by Napa Auto Parts of Stratford. I'm Joey. We have Ben, Matt, Ellis, and Ryan. Before we get into it, a couple upsets, I think we would say. Not even my game, forget that. Goon Squad over Redemption now opens up a huge door. Temptations took care of business, and Sportslook beat Stranger Danger, which I know we were split on a little bit on that. So let's start with that Sportslook and Stranger Danger game. Sportslook by a large margin. Tyrell Holmes showed up. These game stats can be found under Week 8. So tonight was the makeup night from Week 8. So those box scores are there as usual under Week 8. Sportslook Stranger Danger. Tyrell Holmes, I know he made his presence felt.
Yeah, Sportslook finally looked like what we thought they were going to look like at the beginning of the season. Tyrell Holmes was a mid-season addition, and he had another great game after mid-season. He was playing very well, and then didn't show up for a couple of games, but he was back and playing very well. They started pressing Stranger Danger, which I thought they could definitely do in the playoffs because it's a old saying, a lot of teams that that press don't like to get pressed, so why not they start the pressure first and then make the other team come from behind when they have to press, they at least have a lead. I like that. And they were hitting some outside shots today, which they were pretty inconsistent on.
Right. A lot of outside shots I thought they were hitting, a lot of passing the ball. Their game seemed to differ. Sometimes they were playing fast, sometimes they were slowing it down. It seemed like whenever Holmes was in the game, it was a fast-paced game. They were getting the ball, getting it up to him, and then he was making his decision what they were going to do. And then when he wasn't in the game, it was a little slower, a lot less scoring, but still they were able to keep the lead and eventually come out on top.
So for tomorrow, Tyrell Holmes. Just circle that, and that's it. Sportslook now 2-6. Stranger Danger 3-6. They're done. Sportslook will play tomorrow against Run TMC. That's called the transition, Ben. And that is now a huge game. They can now jump Stranger Danger in the standings with a win tomorrow because they beat them today. But for Run TMC, Sportslook tomorrow, before that happens, Run TMC just got caught with an onslaught from Log 203. I don't think any of you guys picked them.
I didn't.
I absolutely picked
Oh, good. Well, maybe it was up there wrong
in the previews, but in the pregame.
Oh, maybe not in the previews. I picked in the pregame.
So there you go. So a little, a half vote of confidence.
But I also was one field goal off of Joe's exact field goal.
Yeah, that was rough. Lob won 77-65 over Run TMC. They had a 20-point lead after the first quarter. They didn't miss much. I think Austin summed it up. He went to throw a lob and banked it in. So that is
sometimes it's just not united.
That picture in time is definitely what sums it up. But now Lob 3-5, Run TMC 4-4. What did you see from Lob that now probably makes them even more likely your upset pick?
Well, I mean, it was just not a game that they usually play. They hit almost all, don't want to say they almost hit all their shots, but that first period, they might have hit almost all their shots. And I think that is what gave them the biggest lead in this game because, Run TMC was coming back, and it was a bit of a cat and mouse type of game. But in the end, that 20-point lead, that's what made the difference in the end.
Yeah, what I thought made the difference for them going forward and in this game was their confidence. They picked up 2 wins in a row. They were just a more confident team. They were playing sound offense. Like you said, they barely missed shots in the first quarter. And then they were just playing pretty good defense, too. They had a couple nice blocks, and they were playing an overall sound game, which was different than earlier in the season where they started off 0-5, I believe, and they were just playing inconsistent quarter to quarter, and today they played pretty consistently.
Yeah, that was the team scrapping, and they were actually getting out and running sometimes more than I expected. Hitting their shots helped, but so now they're 3-5, and now we have a nice line in the standings. So 3, 4, and 5 is some order of Temptations, Redemption, and Monstars. Nobody can catch them. The Firm at 5-4 is now 6.
You missed an opportunity for a transition.
No, I'm getting back to it. Don't worry. And then Run TMC, Goon, Renegades all 4-4. The Rookies are 4-5. Lob 3-5. So Lob wins and they beat the Renegades tomorrow. Looking ahead a little bit, they can then make the jump even higher than I think we thought. But Lob, just beat TMC. I don't know where I'm going with that. Renegades, that's who they get tomorrow. See, not bad. They lost to the Temptations today. We saw 2 Santarellis, so no, you weren't seeing double. But Temptations 90-67 over the Renegades. So now the Temptations again still control their destiny for that 3 seed. Now if they lose, we get a 3-way tie for the 3, 4, and 5. That'll come tomorrow when they take on No Limit. What did they do to the Renegades? And Ty Reed was here. What did they do to that team to limit them?
Well, they really spread the ball around well. I think Carmine wasn't his one-man self as we normally see from those guys. Fred Milford played a huge role. I forget I'm blanking on his name now. The big man down low,
Troy Brunson.
Troy Brunson. He had a huge game, a lot of rebounds, a lot of points. And as far as the Renegades, they were out without Davin Sierpinski, one of the best defenders in the league, and Ty Reed can't guard everybody on the court. So, it was sort of pick your poison of the night, and for the Temptations, just it seemed like everything was going down.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Reed was single-handedly trying to do it all himself, trying to carry the team on his back, but like Ben said, you can't do it alone. Zeke Howard also had a good game for the Renegades, but
Battle of the bigs down low.
yeah, missing Davin was pretty big. I thought he was gonna play, but I guess in the warm-ups he hurt his back. I don't know what happened, but that was a big loss for them.
We should say also, even without Davin, it was a 1-point game and a half. They really fought hard in the first half to stay in it, but in the second half it was just all Temptations. Yeah.
So the Renegades now 4-4, as I mentioned. Temptations, they're in the conversation for the 3 seed. They're in that group by themselves. The Renegades 4-4 with Run TMC and Goon Squad, and that's because Goon Squad just beat Redemption tonight, 82-70. Now I was a little busy missing shots over here, but what in that game allowed, I know I was talking to some of them from Goon Squad after, Marconi and Massaro, happy birthday Brandon.
Happy birthday, Brandon.
Who were saying, hey, we scored 82 points. That's a first for this year, that's a lot of points for us. So how were they able to do that against a Redemption team that we know is a pretty good team?
Well, Justin Green stepped up today. He got in double figure. He scored 20 points today alongside Brandon Massaro. Those two absolutely went off today. Brandon Massaro went 6 for 8 from 3. He was catching fire the whole game, but yeah, it was really back and forth throughout the whole game. It was kind of a nail biter up until the fourth quarter. Matt Marconi had another great game. They were missing some players in Christian Terrell, so Scott Korshard got hurt late in the game, and that really hurt them. So they had only 4 players to work with, and ultimately Goon Squad took advantage of that. Came out with the win.
I think that was a huge momentum shift in the game when Scott Korshard went out. It was still a relatively close game. Then the momentum just, they just lost all their energy. It seemed like. Let's give a lot of credit to DJ Ellis too. He had a really good game for the Renegades.
So now things can fall a certain way. I was looking while you guys were talking. Goon Squad wins tomorrow. They get the serial killers, but if they win tomorrow, they beat the Fun. So they can get as high as a 6 now, Goon Squad, after where they were. And Sports, look, if they lose tomorrow, are sitting at 2-6 and 13. They can get down to 15 because they did lose to White Magic, who's already 2-7. And then there's a lot of teams between 6 and 13 that are all within reach. Tomorrow's games are going to be the Week 2 makeup. Renegades and Lob, TMC Sports Look, No Limit Temptations, and Serial Killers Goon Squad. So, quick note on those games, as the playoffs are here, and those are going to kind of cement the standings.
I think it's going to be really important for your team to do well tomorrow night. I mean, we're going into the playoffs. You guys, not to sugarcoat it, didn't show up very.
It was rough.
I wasn't watching the game, so I don't want to comment too heavily on it. But Lob 203, from what I understand, kind of put the work in. So hopefully you guys can come back tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how No Limit decides to guard Carmine. If they want to put Kevin Rivera on him and face guard him, or a bigger body like Howie on him to kind of neutralize him. I'm interested to see that matchup.
Cool.
I mean, I'd go with Sports Look. I mean, after the past couple weeks, I've been very disappointed. Not talking very highly about them, and tonight they kind of proved me wrong. So I'm looking forward to see how they're going to come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Again, tonight's stats can be found under Week 8. Tomorrow night, you can find the games and where they'll be on the schedule page is Week 2. So Ryan, Ellis, Matt, Ben, I'm Joey. Stay tuned for our pregame tomorrow night. And this has been the Week 10 Monday Night Postgame Show. We'll see you as Moving Week continues. Tuesday night, back here, 8 o'clock from InSports in Trumbull.